Hey Travis. One of the stories from March was the offense talking about going through sort of an exhaustive self scout. Did the defense do the same thing? Have you guys talked about ways that you can maybe tweak things or change things here and there? And if so, what kinds of things stood out? What kinds of things did you find?
Always, we're always trying to find out things that we've done previously in the past years that we can do better. We also look at things that we want to try to make us a better defense as well. So we're always trying to find out ways we can be better across the board as a defense, and also always trying to, like I said, trying to look back at some things and fix things. And that's pretty much every day.
Nebraska 24/7, Brian Christopherson.
Hey Travis, I was going to ask a specific question about how Nadab Joseph has fit in, and but also in general, just how have you seen some of your younger newcomers handle an odd situation and maybe shown their maturity or how they've developed through this situation?
Yeah. First of all, to answer your first question, Adap is doing great. He's with us. He's doing great. He's fallen. He jumped right in the pot with the rest of the guys. So that relationship is going good. Um, Obviously, he's working, trying to catch up on things. Very short time being here. Um, but to answer your second question, I have a great group of guys. I think character-wise, that when I have younger guys in the room, the culture in the room is there. So when I have times that are tough, for younger players, situations, stuff change, um, pandemic, been a freshman, um, came to a visit last year, saw a bunch of fans. Come this year, you see no one on campus. Um, those freshmen struggle, and credit to the room I have, the older guys, are able to grab a hold of those younger guys that are here and helping them so much.
Thanks, Coach.
Omaha World Herald, Sam McEwen.
Hey, coach. As a defensive coach, you often have one of the best perspectives of the players on offense who scare you. And so the question I wanted to ask is which of those receivers who are new to the program, there's quite a few of them, have impressed you when they've been going against your defensive backs?
Um, it's not about the new ones or the old ones. It's about all of them. Um, each one that lines up is a threat. Okay, all of them are fast. All of them can catch. And at any time, if you're not following your assignment in the secondary, um, you can easily give up a touchdown really quick. So not wanting to single any guys out on offense and say, hey, you know, I think Wandale is who we need to pay attention to. No, that's not how we operate. It's not how I operate. So um, all of them, the new additions to the team has been great new additions to the team. Um, the old guys, the old additions to the team are better. Um, you know, Guys that's been here in the program for a year, looks like they've been here for two years in the program. Um, so collectively, as a group that I have to go against every day, the receivers, all of those guys are doing a great job.
Do you perceive it as being a group that is harder to cover than last year's group?
Yes, they're harder to cover than last year because it's a bigger group, number one, and then it's a um, bigger talented group. It's just by the numbers, it's not just one or two guys anymore. Um, 6 or 7 of them now, maybe 8 of them now that can be put on the field. So it makes practice more competitive, um, you know, every day. And Like I said, I don't want to single guys out because there's some guys that are new to the program that's making just as many plays as the older guys. Um, and there's some guys that, you know, maybe came here as a walk-on that's making plays as well. So, um, the offense is doing a great job. Coach Lubick and Coach Beckton, the tight ends, are doing a great job with those receivers, and makes it competitive every day for me.
Kevin Suits up next. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hi, Coach. We talked to Deontay here a few minutes ago. What can you say about his resolve, the fact that he's coming back from an injury and then he's emerged as a leader during an unprecedented year?
Yeah, soft-spoken grown man. That's what I got to say about Deontay. Soft-spoken grown man. It's not going to be moved off emotions. He's going to let his opportunities present itself, and he's going to go out and play football. Love the kid, man. He's great in the room. He has the culture. He brings the younger guys along. He holds the older guys accountable. He holds himself accountable. It's a pleasure to coach him. I mean, can't say more about him.
Get to 2 or 3 more here for Coach Fisher. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic.
Hey, Coach. This offseason, of course, has been unique and probably difficult for young players, first-year players who came from a long way away to Lincoln and didn't have the kind of connection, personal connection with face-to-face with their teammates and coaches that they expected in this first year. What's it been like for you to have to go through losing some of those guys who you recruited from Florida in this offseason, and then also to see the ones who have persevered and made it to get to this point where you're about to, really get going with practice?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that a lot of the guys, a couple guys, that I recruited here, that we recruited here from the state of Florida are not with us because of whatever the reason may be. It's been tough for everyone in this pandemic. It's been tough it's especially tough for kids to leave home and, be homesick. And like I said before, to come here last year and to come to a game and you see the excitement of the fans, you see students on campus, you see the campus life, you get a chance to go to restaurants, you get a chance to see the city of Lincoln, and then the pandemic, you get a chance it's the total opposite. And when you don't know, it's just the fear of not knowing anything. And at that time, just not knowing anything, not knowing if it was going to be a football season, not knowing if it was going to be this or be that. It was tough. It was tough for those kids. That's where we talk about the culture, and some of the older guys were able to save the rest, because it's not about the kids that, are not with us anymore. It's really about, it's some older ones too, all right? It's some older ones that, were struggling as well. And there's some coaches probably that are struggling as well when things change up. So I'm pretty sure there's some adults, out there that's just not coaching football, but just out in the regular workforce that are struggling because of things that's changed up. So, it was tough and still is tough, but that's why we have a football team and a group of coaches that are willing to sacrifice a lot to put our arms around these kids and try to, help them as much as we can to stay here in Lincoln and ride the wave,
Parker Gabriel, Lincoln Journal-Star.
Hey, Travis, you've said in the past that you like to, when you go out and evaluate high school kids, you like to see them with pads on. And I'm just curious about the challenges of having to evaluate this year since you can't be on the road, and what specifically maybe are the things that, you look for first that are harder to see just on, huddle tape or whatever compared to recruiting in person?
Well, I'm a more personable recruiter, most of the guys I've recruited, I've known for a length of time. I've watched them as a freshman. I've watched them as a sophomore with my own eyes. So it's been tough for me as well. I had to change up the game plan, and I'm still grinding at that as well, because it's tough, to not watch a kid in pads and have to recruit a kid, and you want to make the right decision when you're making decisions on kids as well. So just being patient is my approach. Not thinking that, hey, I have to have a guy right now because this guy's going here and this guy's going there. I think that a lot of kids have a lot of interest in Nebraska. They have not seen the place, and we have not seen them. And I'm just speaking more of me. And sometimes it's a little tough, but it'll work itself out like it always do. A lot of these kids are playing football now. I'm able to evaluate the high school football games as they go by. I'm able to evaluate some, even watch some of the ones that were maybe on the that I wasn't thinking about at first, and then now, so it's been a wave to ride, but it's been a fun wave. It's ways to make it fun. All right, it's ways to get on Zoom calls with kids when it's time. It's ways to get to know kids. I still have the connections with the high school coaches. They still let you know what you need to know, character-wise, from a lot of guys. So, I think you just putting all the pieces together, it'll work.